Hello, you're watching News.Markets. Fast-changing information technology has changed the way we live and do business that 5 or 10 years ago we couldn't have even imagined. Now it seems everyone, everywhere has a smartphone in their pocket, crammed with contacts, business secrets, usernames and passwords. But are we and our companies keeping all that information safe? Retailer Target's reputation was tarnished in 2013 over a massive breach of customers' payment data, which cost banks more than $200 million. The UK's data watchdog is investigating a security breach at Carphone Warehouse after the mobile phone retailer said up to 2.4 million customers may have had their personal information and bank details stolen by hackers. And the user data pillaged from a fair website, Ashley Madison, was allegedly leaked onto the so-called dark web, exposing millions of husbands' and wives' details. Here to talk about digital trust, I'm joined by Richard Parris, CEO of software company Interseed. Thanks for coming in. Now, look, let's start off with, what is digital trust? Can you quantify it in some way?
So my passion is the world is becoming increasingly connected. 50 billion devices are allegedly going to be out there connected to people, connected to each other by 2020. Critical to how we secure society and those networks and all the business processes that are going to flow across those billions of connected devices is how do we prove who we are? How do devices prove who they are to each other? Whether that's within a connected car, whether it's a connected car within a city grid, within a smart grid. There's so many different ways that devices and people will be interconnected that society is going to fundamentally change, and digital trust is going to be the key to how we deliver that new society.
What do you think companies could do to take the issue of cybersecurity more seriously?
So we have a big business internationally supplying some of the most secure companies in the world with digital trust solutions. Some of our biggest customers, the US federal government, UK government, some of the largest aerospace and defence companies in the world. Companies for whom security is absolutely key. And they've taken this very seriously for a number of years. There's some fabulous standards coming out of US government that these large enterprises have adopted for commercial use.
Because you'd expect that from governments, wouldn't you? It's kind of a James Bond feel to it all. But on day-to-day companies, those household names, what do you think they should be doing to make consumers and investors safe?
I think it's a boardroom problem. So what our current customers have proven is that with companies like Interseed as their suppliers, they have solved the technology problems. I think what hasn't been solved is boardroom inertia to actually adopting cybersecurity mitigation measures.
Do you think that cybersecurity is almost the last business taboo? Because when you hear about alleged security hacks from the New York Stock Exchange, from Dow Jones, it's very quickly explained, oh no, it wasn't a hack, it was a technological glitch or something like that. Mm-hmm.
So it feels to me that we're sitting here in London today, and selling cybersecurity is often like selling fire insurance the day before the Great Fire of London. I think what's actually happening now, though, the first embers have been sparked, the first flames are flickering, and I think the need for cybersecurity, I think, is becoming obvious to everybody.
So for investors who are looking to grab a slice of this market, I mean, what should they be looking at? Should they be looking at the smaller players? Should they be looking at the big guns, or is there more opportunity in those who are more nimble?
So it is a disruptive market, which as an entrepreneur I find really quite exciting. So there's lots of large, well-established cybersecurity companies out there. We found in our interactions with them, a lot of them are still trying to find out, how do you secure the Internet of Things? How do you secure mobility? There are a multitude of companies entering the IoT, let's call it industry. Many of those are small, many of them won't make it to the final game, but some of them will. And I think for investors, yes, you need to be cautious on one hand, but this is such a huge upside on this. Go lay your bets. Some of the big companies will prevail, but many small ones will come through and be major players. We believe Interseed is going to be one of those, but time will tell.
Well, Richard Parris, the CEO of Interseed, thanks for giving us an insight into the world of cybersecurity and what the smaller firms can do about it. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Juliet.